Hey guys, Shadowz here, welcome back to another Gears of War 4 video. Today we are going to be discussing the multiplayer update that we have waited for 3 years to see in Gears 4. As you guys know, if you've been subscribed watching either the YouTube or the Twitch channels for a while now, that King of the Hill is by far my favourite game mode. It's been my go-to ever since the early Gears 2 days, but the ranked matchmaking system that we do have in Gears 4 hasn't been the best for the player experience. Once ranked seasons began to roll out on a consistent basis and with the addition of extra diamond ranks, matchmaking got a little bit messy with a few flaws revealing themselves as each season passed and the player base changed. A few matchmaking problems like stacked teams not being restricted from matching up with solo players, lobbies being filled with the wrong player ranks just to name a few, trying to play versus multiplayer especially as a solo player has become such a painful experience, but it's possible that could all be now left in the past. Recently, the Shadowz studio announced a new matchmaking update that had already been introduced in the behind the scenes of the Season 6 launch that includes some tweaks affecting the way, most specifically targeting both 5-player squads and solo queuing. Starting as a trial basis in King of the Hill and most likely being put into other game modes at a later time, the matchmaking update's goal is to create a better experience in matchmaking for solos and partial teams while also providing improved balance for 5-player stacked squads. The developers have stated that they are going to be achieving this by two main focus points being reducing the number of instances of 5-player stacked squads versus solo queue, tightening the allowable skill banding for 5-player stacked squads in order to provide closer matchups, either with a combination of higher skilled opponents or similar skill level 5-man squads. Now there is a huge, very long explanation that can be found on the official Gears website within the latest WhatsApp post if you do want to go read it in full. The matchmaking update that I myself and many others have been waiting for even up to 3 years now ago with the release back in 2016, summarized up quickly, basically means that the skill-based competitive ecosystem should now be a lot more organized and measured out than ever before. If you are playing solo or in a smaller partial team of players, that you should now encounter 5-player stacked squads much less often than we've been experiencing for the last few years, with a small exception that if you do match up with a full squad, that the game is telling you that you are individually your whole team of players have a slightly just higher skill rating than the other team. On the other side of the spectrum, if you are playing as a 5-player stacked squad, that you should now encounter other 5-player stacked squads, or as I just mentioned as well, the said combined teams of higher skill rated players more often, creating a much closer matchup compared to just steam training through all of the lower ranked solo players match in, match out. The matchmaking system focusing on the behind the scenes player skill rating will now re-evaluate the matchmaking population in a precise way by considering teams of players, especially 5-player stacked squads, into the overall skill rating instead of going off individual skill rating per player no matter whatever the party size was. Overall, this update should provide a much better player matchmaking experience for everyone, no matter the way you choose the way you want to play. It is important to remember though that the higher the skill rating, the longer it may take to find players of a similar skill banding bracket that makes sense to be a playable matchup. Now, while the matchmaking is the main priority, a change in the versus multiplayer community has been wanting to see for a while now. The Shadowz studio has also drastically improved the quit penalties ever since I last mentioned them in a video. Even though there will still be players quitting as it's an issue that can never be fixed, there is a stronger barrage of penalties than we've ever seen before. Quitters have always been one of the biggest hot topics, not only in Gears 4 but across the beginning of the entire Gears of War franchise, and with continued community feedback, quit penalties are being doubled down on by the developers very soon to deliver swift justice fast. For players who complete most matches, maybe disconnecting only dropping from a match 1 or 2 times, very rarely due to an unavoidable issue, will be fine, but the players that do intentionally decide to back out and just quit ranked matchmaking may actually begin to find XP debt and credit debt that has to be earned and paid back to the game, as well as also an ever increasing time suspension based on a rampant quitting behavior that can actually result in even lasting several weeks to even months if it's that bad. And yes, Octus and Dana from the Shadowz team have already said that there are a few people out there that have purposely been banned for months because of their own just actions. Please make sure to leave me a comment down below telling me what you think. What is your opinion on the new matchmaking change for 5-player stacked squads and solo queue? Have you been waiting for this update to make its way into the game and now give you a reason to try and play it again? Let me know. So there you have it, guys, my full discussion on the multiplayer matchmaking update that we waited 3 years to see, but it's finally arrived in Gears of War 4. Give the video a thumbs up and share if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you aren't already. Thank you for watching, and as always, I shall see you in the next one.